Ice Road is a new action thriller that recently popped up on Netflix. This one is directed by Jonathan Hinsley, I think, or Hensley. I'm not sure how to pronounce that exactly. Please forgive me, Hinsley. This film stars Liam Neeson, Amber Midthunder, Lawrence Fishburne, Holt Macaulay, among other people. It's got a pretty decent cast that they've cobbled together for this movie. Liam Neeson stars as a truck driver who, along with his brother, is trying to find some work. There are some workers that get trapped in some kind of a mine. There's some kind of methane accident, and so Liam Neeson, along with some other truck drivers, has to drive these big rig trucks carrying some materials that these guys need to survive. They have to carry these materials over frozen oceans and lakes and stuff like that, and of course there's a lot of danger in that because ice cracks under weight and stuff like that. So they have to drive these trucks through a bunch of dangerous terrain, and they have to save these guys in this mine who are slowly running out of oxygen. And that's essentially what the movie is without giving away too much. I like Liam Neeson, you like Liam Neeson. Well, okay, I'm not gonna assume that you like Liam Neeson, but I'm gonna assume that most people at least have a general respect for Liam Neeson. I don't know how many of these type of movies Liam Neeson has been in, these little action thrillers. It's a steady paycheck. I get why he keeps going back to it. We all know that he's more talented than this, but thank God for him that he doesn't get bored of giving us the same old type of action thriller over and over again. As far as performance goes, you know what Liam Neeson is gonna do. Unless he's like completely mailed it in, he's gonna give a good performance, and he's really great in this movie. The emotional stuff that he does in this movie, didn't expect it from him, especially in this type of role, and he really brings it. And I would probably say that most of the other actors and actresses in the movie also do a good job. Amber Midthunder not only is really hot, but she also was kind of a badass in this movie, and I actually appreciated some of her line delivery and some of her moments that she had alongside Liam Neeson in this movie. There is a dynamic that is briefly hinted at between Liam Neeson and his brother, who is a war veteran that's struggling with a condition because of some kind of injury that he suffered during the war. That dynamic is not explored nearly enough, but if you're looking for an emotional reason to be attached in this movie, that's like the one little piece of emotion that you get to have. The action scenes are a little bit different than the standard issue Liam Neeson movie because it's not as much hand-to-hand stuff. There's not as many wild shootouts or car chases or anything like that. A lot of the action scenes stem from these trucks and from the environments that they're in, from the location and where this movie was shot. So in a lot of ways, it feels like they combine action with a disaster movie, and that gives it kind of a unique feel compared to Liam Neeson's usual action movies. So here's the thing about the entertainment in this movie. You can definitely have some fun with it, but it's the kind of bottom of the barrel entertainment that can only entertain you for so long before you realize what you're watching. What you're watching here is basically another run-of-the-mill, average as fuck action movie starring Liam Neeson, who despite his best efforts cannot lift this film above its mediocrity. This is a story that definitely has a lot of predictable ebbs and flows to it. That can be said for a lot of action movies like this, but it's especially tiring in this movie, especially when you don't have the kind of character work that would ground the story and make you invested, even given the predictability. A lot of the other characters in the movie aren't really given that much to work with. The movie's biggest problem is that it just fails to engage you as a story. It fails to find a reason to keep this movie mildly interesting other than Liam Neeson being Liam Neeson. I suppose that's up to the individual. I can't really tell you whether you would care or not. I can tell you I just did not really care after about 30 minutes in this movie. I was just kind of going through the motions just like the rest of the screenplay. Try to cut back sometimes to these dudes that are in this mine suffocating, and they fail to make that story compelling or interesting. You're kind of like, well, that movie wasn't that good, but at least I have Liam Neeson. We end up saying that a lot about Liam Neeson movies nowadays. The Ice Road was a solid enough action thriller, but kind of average. I'm gonna leave this one in the Fortress of Solitude. It's on Netflix right now if you wanna check it out. If you don't wanna check it out, there's plenty of other Liam Neeson action movies to choose from. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.